Hey everyone, Tech Gamer here. As you can see, we are coming in over Aspen, Colorado, and on our approach to Aspen Airport. This is one of the many landing challenges available in Microsoft Flight Simulator, where you are judged on your landing accuracy, speed, precision, distance traveled when landing on the ground, and a variety of other factors. So we're going to go ahead and attempt this here a couple of times and see how we do. This is actually my first time trying this, so let's see how this goes. So we're coming in about 200 knots. The runway is right up ahead to the right. And we need to slow down considerably here, so I'm going to put the flaps down and throttle our airspeed all the way back. And for our final turn onto the glide slope, trying to keep it around 100 knots here. I'm not sure how well this is going to go. This is the first time, so we'll see how this goes. Coming in pretty hot. Remember, the air pressure and everything is different in this part of the country, so it affects a variety of things such as turn speed, landing speeds, a whole bunch of different things, which makes landings incredibly difficult. So I'm coming in to the left of the runway here. Speed is okay. Angle of entry is really bad, but we'll go ahead and try and land the plane at least. And we bounced. As you can see, the bouncing is a thing with the altitude being we're at 7,000 feet above sea level, 8,000 feet almost. So we survived, and let's come to a stop. The score is pretty low there, 11,200. I can do better than that. So we're going to go ahead and let's try this again. If you have a group of friends who you're associated with, you can all compete against each other in these different landing scenarios. So we're going to go ahead here and restart this. And let's try this again. So again, we're starting out at 9,659 feet above Aspen, Colorado. And this little graphic here shows us the recommended approach into the airport, which is basically what I'm doing. I don't take such hard turns as they suggest, but the principle is all the same. It's just basically to line you up with the runway. So they suggest on final approach you be at 130 knots. I find that a little fast, but I understand why they say it because of the different varying altitudes up here. Okay, so here we go again. Coming in with throttle the engines to about, 30% or so. Try and slow us down a little bit here. Continue to drop some altitude. I'm going to take a slightly different approach this time. So the logic behind the graphics is to show where you can lose speed by banking, but I can do that with feathering the throttle and the flaps at the same time. So right now flaps are at half, at 15 degrees, and we'll go ahead and bring them down soon to help slow our forward speed. One of the things that they judge you on is your accuracy in landing and where you stop on the runway. That's actually one of the big point scores in this. So there's a little blue box towards the end of the runway that they want you to stop in, and we'll see if we can nail it. So we're coming in pretty hot again here. I gotta start getting this throttle feathered back here, and we'll kind of put the flaps down to 35 degrees, which is the full position for this particular jet, and make a right hand soft turn to line up with the runway. So far our approach is pretty good. We're at 120 knots, 8,500 feet. And we're going to try and line up with the runway here. We're at 115 knots. We're actually lined up pretty good. Now we're drifting. See, the problem is the drift. The altitude up here and the air pressure is all different, so plane drifts all over the place. This is going to be a hard landing. Hang on, everybody. actually wasn't so bad. Oh, I bounced again. So we're going to go ahead and slow it down here. You can see this blue box on the ground here is the area they like you to stop in, which it looks like I actually did. 87,000 points that time. It's a little better. Let's go ahead and try this again. So we're going to go ahead and restart. Landing precision was a little better that time. So the trick, like they said, is to let the plane lower itself to the runway instead of pushing down on the yoke. To do that, you basically kill the throttle and make your forward speed slow down. But you have to do that carefully because the longer you are airborne, the more of distance it'll take you down the runway, which in turn you'll pass that blue box that's the stopping target. So we're gonna ready to fly. Here comes attempt number 3. And switching out of cockpit view, just so everybody gets a nice view of Aspen here. So we're going to take the same approach angle as we took in the last time, and again, try and just adjust our final headings and speed accordingly. I like these landing challenges. They're very difficult, but there's a lot of fun, and it really pushes you to your limit of how well you can land a plane, or teaches you how badly you can land a plane, which in turn gives you practice and valuable learning experience. So, making our left-hand bank here towards the approach for the runway. Go ahead and pass over this hill maybe a little more the next time. See if that helps us in our final approach. It's all about lining up on the runway. These runways are pretty long. This one actually is pretty long for a private jet. So you don't have to worry so much about stopping distance. It's more so about timing the exact point where you touch down so that we don't bounce. So we got the flaps down again. And we'll make our right-hand turn towards the final glide slope approach on the runway here. We're actually lined up pretty good this time. Coming in still fast. See, that's the issue, is I'm keeping the engines up a little bit here, just so I don't stall out. If you get below that green area, you run the risk of stalling. And you get into the white, and then out of that you'll stall out. So we're coming in about 90 knots, and touching down. I'm feeling we're going to bounce. We didn't yet, we bounced. Ooh, that was rough. Okay. That was definitely one of the harder landings of my 3 so far. And we're stopping short of the target area. So far our high score is 87,487. Let's try this one more time. I think we can do better. So let's go ahead and restart for a final attempt. The max score is 1,854,000 points. That's like a perfect, flawless landing almost. I think the absolute max is 2 million. Okay, so we're going to follow this flight path a little more here. We'll probably go over that parcel of land that we can see the hill before the runway, just to see if that helps us on our approach here. So bringing the engine speed back up. You notice where the plane kind of tips to the left and right. That's the wind doing that up here. So we're going to go ahead and start a gradual bank to the left here. I'm going to try a little slightly different approach this time. See if I can cut some of this forward speed down. Man, it's bumpy. Coming in really fast, 155 knots. But we're going to go over this hill this time. See if that helps us on our approach. So I could bank to the left some more and then make a harder right turn to line up with the runway, but I'm just going to go ahead and come in straight and then just make a nice soft gradual turn to the right to line up with the glide slope. The scenery is amazing here and the graphic quality is really good. You can see that detail on that football field we just passed. So, making our line up for the final approach, we're going to go ahead and put the flaps down to full position. And the wind there. So flaps are at full, engines are off, or at idle. And we are actually perfectly lined up with the runway here. This is good. We're coming in a little fast, 130 knots. Probably by the time we touch down here, maybe 120. So let's go ahead and pull back on the flight stick and just let us gradually slow down. Touchdown. We have no bounce. That was very good. And now let's feather the brakes so that we stop in this blue area. That was my best landing yet. Still was not good, but it was definitely my best yet. 290,000 points. That's a lot better than my previous one of 87,000-ish. So, thank you everyone for watching this video. Please click the like, and there will be more epic landings coming soon. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks everybody. See you soon.